So I'm Stephanie, and here's a little bit about myself. My mother had left me when I was about 3 years old at a grocery store for drugs. Um, then I was raised by my father. My father found me in the grocery store and had taken me back to his house. He wouldn't let my mom in the house because after all the things that she had done and the way she treated us wasn't right, so my dad wouldn't let her in the house. My father he drank a lot. My mother and my father both drank a lot, did drugs together until my mom left. My dad quit the drugs, but continued with the drinking. He abused my older brother and sister for a few years, and since I was the youngest, kind of treated me a little bit different. But after my brother got a little bit older, he left, and my sister also got kicked out when she was younger, or when she was older, and after that, it was all, focus was on me. My father would abuse me every day if he could, if I was around. I was very scared to go home. I only went home because I had to have a place to stay. I had to have a place to eat, sleep, and to take care of my hygiene. So I enrolled myself into continuation school at Wilson. What was nice about the program was I still received my diploma just like any other kid. I received a high school diploma. And I only went to school on Fridays. So that means like for the rest of the week I would just sit there, and I was always afraid that my dad was going to show up at her house. And I knew if he caught me there, like that'd be the end of everything. Like he'd grab me and take me back to his house. Like I was like, he owned me. That's how it felt. I stayed at Central Park in Santa Clara. I used to sleep on the bleachers till 11 o'clock at night, and then at 11:30 I'd walk to Safeway, and I'd stay at Safeway till 5 in the morning. I would never sleep. I never slept at night. At 5 in the morning I'd walk to Starbucks because that's when Starbucks opened. So I'd hang out in their coffee shop because it was warmer. And then from Starbucks I'd go to McDonald's, and that's where it was embarrassing because they had their playhouse and it'd be like 7 o'clock, and I'd go all the way to the top of the playhouse and I would sleep for like an hour or two. And I used to like listen, and the parents would be like, no, don't go up there, tell their kids, don't go up to the top, because I'm up there passed out. And it was so embarrassing because this one kid, he like got up there and he goes, Mom, there's a bomb up here. And I was like, oh my, and then I was like, you gave away everything, like this was my secret spot. Like, so then I had to leave McDonald's. They kicked me out of the play yard. Couldn't sleep there anymore. When I went to the teacher that I had, I used to hang out at school sometimes, and I would help her correct papers. And to be on, the teacher's aid, just to get up there a little, and I used to help her out with all the papers that she would need, and the reason why I did that was like not only to be away from the house, but like because I got to talk to her, and I like to hear people's stories, and she told me about her life situation, stuff that she was going through, and I didn't know teachers had problems, so for me to hear about like to hear a teacher have problems, it's like, what? And that's when I came to school and I was like, you want to know something? And then that's when I said, I live on the streets. Like, I was living on the streets. I have an abusive father. I have nothing right now. And that's when she went to the school liaison, and this Pat was amazing. She had the best person. She met, I was StandUp For Kids, like, they went over everything. They said, okay, where are you at? What's going on? Okay, we don't have any money for this house that we're living in. We want to get jobs, we want to have a house, and we want to have a car now. And it's like, realistically, that's not going to happen. But when they went over, okay, here's the options. Well, why don't you look at this? Why don't you look at that? Look at this like this. Look at this like that. I had to have a surgery. I had to have this 10-hour surgery. It was huge surgery. I had to get done before I was, 19 years old. And the doctors weren't really working with me, but like my StandUp For Kids counselor, like she was pushing. She made sure I was there to get this surgery. She made sure the doctors were on top of the appointments. She made sure I was there. You know, she drove me to those appointments if I didn't have a ride, if I didn't have a way to get there. She just made sure I had the surgery before I was 19. And thank God she did that, because if it wasn't, like, I would have never had it. And I don't think that, I just wouldn't have happened. StandUp For Kids, like, taught me everything. Basically how to live a life and how to learn. I learned, you know, through StandUp For Kids. And I had my surgery, and then right after my surgery, I got into transitional housing. I was on the, you know, the wait list for a little while, counting down the days and calling every month and hoping I could get this place. And finally they accepted me. I got in, you know, they told me what the rules are. I had a job. I was working for Toys R Us. Life has changed, like now I have a life. Before I didn't. Before I was just somebody. And I was just that person on the streets. But now it's like, I'm Stephanie. And StandUp For Kids, though, like, really, I'd say Peggy. Because really, you were like the thing in my life. Like, the biggest thing you can't believe. Like, I cannot thank you enough, and will never be able to thank you enough for everything that you've done and continue to do. And I will take care of you when you are old. and just, yeah. So, aw, Peggy.